when you play close football games and it comes down to a last play and a call, I never like blaming the refs because I'm like, you could have done other things to avoid being in that situation to begin with.
Yep.
I wasn't even worried because I was like, oh, Aiden got held, so this is going to come back. And they're obviously going to get a field goal here. They got to keep him out of the end zone. Okay, where's the flag? Oh, my God, they didn't throw a flag. Now, I don't want to turn into a whole refereeing show.
Let's not do that.
And as far as the last caller, he immediately comes on and says it's SOL. And then but then he said, I'm almost moving off my prediction. I'm like,
didn't move off.
And then he didn't. And I just wanted to see if you really believe it's the same old Lions, how can you at the same time believe they're still going to go 11-6? Because there's no way the same old Lions would go 11-6.
I don't think there was really an SOL moment during that game. There wasn't something that hadn't been done in NFL history. I don't think there's going to be a rule change that's going to occur from this game. The only SOL thing you could kind of point to for me is why I'm feeling so down today is the result that they lost the game. And that's not even SOL. That's just, you're going to win or you lose. It's just unfortunately, I'm putting Lions history into it. And hey, when we get built up so much, ready to go, and then we get let down. And that's where it happened again.
I don't think it's SOL. I think this team is past that. But you're right. It's the result. It's the feeling going into the game and the feeling coming out of the game. It's Lucy taking the football away.
Yep.
That's where that feeling creeps up and rears its ugly head, but it's not there. They can still, whack-a-mole and knock that thing back into the ground. But they have to win. They got to win next game, and they got to do what you're expecting them to do. Go out there, win 11, 12 games.
Let's go to Darren next. What's up, Darren?
Hey, guys. Good morning to you. Adam, I'm scared that there's a blueprint that was put in place yesterday that people are going to look at. I don't think Seattle came out of 12 personnel 85% of that game. I think they had an H-back out there quite a bit, Fant, Disley, and whatever the other clown's name was. But those guys were on the field. I want to go back and look at it, but I would say over 80% of the time. So I was not a big Jalen Carter guy. I did like the draft. But after yesterday's game and seeing zero disruption from, between the tackles, I really realized, wow, that is so super important. I know last week we moved Hutch down inside a little bit. That helped. They were a little creative. I didn't see that yesterday. They clearly were motioning and putting additional help on the outside. I'm not going to prop up those two backup tackles because they were not alone the entire game.
Look, they had a good scheme. You're right, Darren, and there was no pass rush. They were probably, they lost Josh Pascal last Thursday to an injury in practice. They lose James Houston during the game, and that means they lose some position flexibility up front. So I hear you. These are subtle but starting to add up injuries, but that's the NFL. Be clear. You have to have depth. If you're going to be a great team, you have to have depth. We've talked about their depth, but the other thing we talked about, Darren, and he's right on a lot of things there, is there's Aiden Hutchinson who feels like a strong commodity, and then there's a bunch of guys that we talk about their upside that have to go out and do it. Kaminsky, Pascal who got hurt, Houston who got hurt, Aleem McNeil, going to be a different year for Aleem McNeil, blah, blah, blah. Can Charles Harris follow up a previous good year? Can Romeo Okwara return to some sort of form? There's a lot of question marks up front defensively. Yesterday did not help alleviate those concerns.
No, it didn't. And I think something else that you talk about, people are going to have to step up. Absolutely going to have to step up. I think the rookies in particular. This is 2 weeks in a row now that Jahmyr Gibbs has had a giant play at his feet and he bungled it up, whether it was the first week where he tripped over himself getting down on the outside, which would have been a big gain,
right,
or it was yesterday when, a nice pass over the middle and it just goes through his hands, and it could have been a monster gain. But he's going to have to get better in a hurry with the injury to David Montgomery now. And Jack Campbell, I don't know do you have the snap count somewhere? Because
you know what, the NFL used to put it on their game book, and they don't anymore, and I'm disappointed by that. I think it's going to be a minute here before we get a final snap count. He didn't seem like he was on the field. It didn't seem like he was on the field
a whole lot, and that's the other one that I think we all need to see grow up in a hurry and start to pay dividends. And Yeah, I mean, look, that Jalen Carter call is going to be here all season long.
Yep.
Until we see better returns from Jahmyr Gibbs, but you all see that the potential's there.
Yeah, I mean, if he makes that catch and takes it to the house, which he might have gone 85 yards or whatever it would have been, that was a costly drop.
Yeah, I mean, my letdown is there's so many areas of letdown in that game, and in the end, you let down because they lost it. I mean, you guys mentioned, the Gibbs catch. Did you have PTSD because remember DeAndre Swift's first game, and he had a chance to win the game with a touchdown catch in the end zone.
You're right.
End zone to the left. Yeah.
When Gibbs dropped that pass, I was like, oh my God. No, because Swift was built as a running back who could catch the ball
in the backfield.
What is Gibbs built as?
He's like a receiver. He can run routes.
When
he can
dropped
catch the ball.
that ball, which potentially goes to the house, or if not, at least a huge gain, I'm like, oh my God, no. This is what I'm talking about. I don't want to be that guy, okay? Just talk me off the ledge, guys. I'm not there yet, but I feel like there's a lot of things coming back that I don't want to experience again. And in the end, if they would have won the game, I'm like, okay, we won the game. We did what we had to do. Wasn't pretty. Move on. But the turnovers, the not getting to the quarterback on 2 backup tackles, everything was, I just don't want to go back to the old Lions. This is a brand new Lions, right? We're fine. This one game. We're just 1-1.
You're already going back, Kang.
I
got to
don't
be
want
honest.
to.
I know, but I think you need to I think you need to toughen up, my man.